Hello everyone, on this episode of Kindred Spirits, those other ninja games. Developed by Blue Sky Software and released for the Atari 7800 in 1990, Ninja Golf is a catastrophic mashup of golf and martial arts. You play a ninja-trained warrior whose battlefield of choice is, for some reason, a golf green. While playing a 9-hole round, you must fight off ninja warriors and various lethal animals who really hate you. To make things more challenging, the rules of reality are loosely enforced, allowing groundhogs to fire rocks like tomahawk missiles, frogs of epic proportions, and sharks that make their home in freshwater ponds and streams. To regain your honor, you must complete the 9-hole course. Gameplay consists of an epically basic strategy: kick and jump. There is no subtle nuance. Running at full speed is the best tactic, as enemies will constantly respawn if you remain in the same spot. Ninja stars can be found at random intervals, but run out quickly. Boss fights are completely repetitive. Graphics are average for a 7800 release, with wide patches of monochrome colors punctuated with low detail sprites and simple background animations, except for one surprising exception: the boss fights. While most of the game engine is a simple side-scroller with paltry parallax scrolling, the boss fight is an interesting switch to a pseudo 3D effect based on a behind-the-player perspective. Instead of the backgrounds moving, you and the boss slide side to side. Ninja Golf fits an odd niche that no one asked for. From janky golf mechanics to one-dimensional combat, the game seems to rely solely on the chance that the player loves the idea of ninjas enough to ignore the steaming pile of garbage they just threw into their eyeballs. Only because it has no obvious coding bugs, we give this title a 4 out of 10. Revenge of the Ninja was released for the North American Sega CD in the early 1990s and is a port of the 1984 arcade laserdisc game called Ninja Hayate. You play as Hayate, a ninja seeking revenge for the death of his father while also trying to save his princess girlfriend from evildoers in a heavily booby-trapped castle. Using quick twitch reflexes and hopefully a little bit of perfect memory, Hayate must navigate through clever obstacles and defeat supernatural enemies. Gameplay is nothing more than a very fast-paced Simon Says routine where you must use the correct buttons with near-flawless timing to proceed. These action moments are for the most part linear and non-changing, with only a few scenes giving you any options. This is in direct contradiction to the intro claiming that you can defeat enemies with your own style. Hard mode removes the hint arrows and lets you wing it on your own. Graphics are, for the most part, non-existent. The entire game is one long movie, with a few action scenes included to show the moments of a player's death. Video quality is low, which is to be expected from a port of a Laserdisc to a much smaller Sega CD disc. The viewing window takes up only a small fraction of the screen, encased in a static image framing. At least the animation is well done. Sounds are very good even with the constant background hiss. Actions are clear, distinct, and help with accuracy. Background music and ambient sounds add to the player's engagement.
Revenge of the Ninja.
Revenge of the Ninja feels like an attempt to reboot a forgotten IP in order to milk some easy dollars while also giving the Sega CD another filler title to its library. Tragically, the Sega CD version is not as competent as the arcade Laserdisc unit for such a title. With reduced graphics and laggy input, the game comes across as more frustrating than fun. We give Revenge of the Ninja a 4 out of 10. Shadow of the Ninja is a side-scroller action game developed and published by Natsume for the North American Nintendo Entertainment System in 1990. In the year 2029, Emperor Garuda establishes a dictatorship in the USA, killing many innocent lives. Ninja masters of the E-Gang clan, Hayate and Kaeda, break into the Emperor's palace and seek to destroy Garuda. The palace is full of odd minions, from ninjas and cyborgs to the bizarre and shocking. The Ninja Masters must survive to save the world. Gameplay is fast and smooth. Controls are easy to figure out, yet difficult to master. Running and attacking enemies is not the real strategy of the game. Timing, precision, and jumping is everything. For example, jumping up to grab a pole or surface with the B button is easy enough, yet pulling yourself up requires using the up direction. This combo is not intuitive and will require some time to master under pressure. Attacking enemies with different weapons requires varying tactics as well. The sword needs to be up close and personal to hit the target, while the chain blade needs to be a bit further away. Ninja stars are awesome, but run out too quickly. Stages are designed with a whole bunch of gotcha moments where you will die over and over until the right timing and strategy is applied. The game developers went out of their way to tweak each stage for maximum frustration. Graphics are bread and butter for the Nintendo. Though the color palette is simple, animations are well done. Sprites are smooth and detailed with just a hint of glitchiness. Backgrounds are complex, adding quite a bit of depth to the game. Sounds are spot on for a game of this style. Effects are appropriate and well executed, with enough impact and variety to add to gameplay without annoying repetition. Stage music is upbeat and fun to listen to. Shadow of the Ninja is an all-out side-scroller using some of the best techniques of 1990. Fast-paced and hair-pulling, it will keep the determined game player occupied for a good long while. It is recommended to take frequent breaks, as too much gameplay in one sitting may cause an aneurysm. We give Shadow of the Ninja a 9 out of 10. Developed by UEP Systems and published by Agetec for the PlayStation in 1999, Rising Zan, the Samurai Gunman is an action-adventure game set in the Old West. Your story begins as a young man named Johnny, born in a small western town who desperately wants to become a hero. Hearing about trouble in the gorge near town, Johnny rushes out to seek his fame. After reaching the gorge, Johnny finds himself outclassed and is beaten to within inches of his life. Vowing to never let this happen again, Johnny trains with his father's old friend Suzuki, a specialist in martial arts. After years of training and final mastery of Zipang's fighting style, Johnny changes his name to Zan, declaring a newfound zeal to become a hero. Zan returns to his hometown in search of action. Gameplay is a host of the standard D-pad, jump, attack, and defend options with a mixed bag of combinations. Controlling Zan is quite a challenge, as the camera is constantly pointing in the wrong direction. Aiming with the gun requires both Zan and the camera to be facing the target, which is tricky in the middle of battle when dodging and running around. All this effort pays off, as Zan has a range of attacks and defenses. Plenty of power moves for both the gun and the sword, along with fending, blocking, and reflecting enemy attacks, adds a lot of style and options to combat. In fact, it's very easy to accidentally fire off a few power moves in the heat of battle. Graphics resemble early generation PlayStation quality, with the use of fog to hide draw-in, and true 3D is provided by large polygon objects with low-quality textures. Even so, animations are smooth enough and the color palette and textures are good enough to keep the game interesting. A lot of effort was focused in creating distinct enemies and bosses, each with a host of unique moves. Sounds are decent quality, with samples that are relevant and blended smoothly. Dialogue can be long and sometimes confusing, however the music is upbeat, inspiring a desire to go for all-out action. Rising Zan, the Samurai Gunman, is clearly a passion project by some developer, with an over-the-top feel and plenty of cheesy dialogue bordering on nonsensical. Despite this, Rising Zan is a complete game, with a training mode and lots of interesting gameplay combined with good sound and graphic effects, music tracks, and challenging gameplay. Due to the irritating camera control, we give this game a 7 out of 10. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to this channel. It's not a gamble if you have nothing to lose. The game comes across as more frustrating than fun. We give Revenge of the Ninja a 4 out of 10. And we give my voice a 2 out of 10, Jesus. I'm going to try it again. No, I'm going to try it again. I can get through it.